Alright guys, I have comic books for sale, and this is a comic book channel, and upbeat, and I don't want to bum anybody out and stuff, but I've got a few things to talk about here, so you might just want to skip onto the comics, and I would appreciate it if you did take a look at it. And I'll try to be brief here, see if I can't paint a little picture here. In exactly 55 minutes will end, hopefully, the worst 24 hours that I've had since I've had to move about roughly 6 months ago down to where I'm living, out in the middle of nowhere, not a lot, nothing, Didn't want to be here, didn't want to move here, and for you guys in the know and stuff like that, it's no big secret. The last year and a half has been one thing after the other, starting with feeling like my life is jerked out from underneath me. A lot of patience, a lot of hope, a lot of gut checking and stuff. But last night ended up being the second time in a little bit over a year that I've actually had to stop and think about, how did I get here? Did every day of my life really lead up to this? Growing up, when you talk to people, you hear these little sayings and stuff that are, real cliche and old, and you kind of try to take them in and hope you can avoid, it's more like one of those things that'll help you avoid life situations sometimes, kind of like makes you think you have an end to how to not end up there, and it's a bunch of crap, man, because a lot of those things will, once they're in your head, they don't come out and they start going through your head. So last night, basically, I ended up stranded 30 miles from this house. The only people I knew that I could really call to come get me, who would be available to do it without a big mess, were 2 hours away. One can't do it, and another person, there's just no way they can do it, and they actually ended up giving me a ride this morning. But I added up the miles and stuff, and over the course of 3 hours of walking from where my car broke down, I went out to get a tire put on, ended up swinging around, decided I was going to go do a little shopping, treat myself just a little bit, get a little bit of money saved up finally, and I was going to get a few clothes and stuff, and it was actually going to be like responsible stuff, and what's the worst I was going to do is probably get a few DVDs. And first place I stopped to go get some clothes and stuff, man, after I ate and got this tire put on my car, and decided I was going to treat myself a little bit, starter went out on my car, middle of nowhere, didn't really know what was going on with the car to begin with. 5 minutes after all the garages closed, ended up, long story short, running back and forth to buy a starter, advanced auto, running across this town and walking back to my car, and then ended up walking back over there to the to where this motel was, the cheapest one I could afford. I'm on a budget, what I'm saying? This is the third time I've started over in 7 years, majorly started over. And, I try not to complain, and I've tried to, I just feel like I've tried, and I always had this thing like things will get better and stuff, and I'm not mad at anybody. That's what's so weird, If anything, I can point a finger at myself for having this freaking rescue thing in me, wanting to make other people happy, try to help out and stuff, and try to make sure, the best I can. And I'm going over several people over the years and stuff. I ain't really pointing out anybody, but that's all the situations where, I did my best, and it seems like it got me nothing. I got less than I started out with. And what's funny is, when I was like 18 going into 19 and stuff, man, I backpacked, for like about 9 months, rode shotgun with truckers and stuff, and had a lot of freedom. Ended up living with somebody when I was 20, went to the military, ended up living in my first car for like a month and a half or something, even had a girlfriend and stuff like that, and was going to college and doing National Guard and all this stuff, and had a blast with it, Eventually got my own apartment and stuff, It's bizarre how you look back on things, and where you're young, they're like adventurous and all this stuff and everything like that. And then got me an apartment of my own, and got married and went from that apartment to rent a little house, and then ended up buying a house, by 26. So from 21 to by the time I was like 26, I went from like living in a car to a big house with a family. Things didn't work out, and what I do, I tried to be a man about it, and after 3 years, last 3 years of trying to make things work, takes two people to want things to work, and I'm sure we both had issues and stuff, but when it ended, I was going to school and I was going to work and I was doing an internship. That's a full boat, and then turn around, and as soon as the divorce papers are signed, they're announcing an engagement, and they moved with my son, and I try to make the best of it, and I end up going from an apartment there to buying another little place. Ended up selling it because my son was in a wreck and I could no longer live 3 hours from him. That was just a nightmare. And in all that time, I haven't tried to screw anybody over. It's been rough, and it just seems like every time you get a little bit ahead, something hits, and then it just accumulates and accumulates, and I just don't get it. And we're talking about simple things. Every little thing becomes a freaking struggle, man, and it shouldn't have to be. Get a job, make a pay, everybody work for, I don't know. It's one of those things where, I'm sure I can pull out faults on me and stuff like that, but it seems like there's somebody always around the corner that, always makes the grass look greener on the other side. So how do you improve yourself when you don't know what you're doing? You're in somebody else's shadow a whole lot. I don't know if that makes any sense, So yeah, I'm having a bit of reflection of all that walking last night, and got exhausted and missed work today and dropped $300, So all I figured out is that the only thing I can say about me is what I'm doing is not working. And I can sit here and, I'm not mad at anybody. I don't look back at anybody. For some reason, there's something about me where I don't look back at anybody, and I'm not mad at them or anything like that. I don't hold ill will. I mean, there's one person, but it's nobody that, I was in a relationship with, in case somebody's watching here, So what I'm doing is not working, and you can't make it in this world on your own. So it's time to try something different. Something's got to change, or I'm going to end up being one of those bitter, lonely people, and we don't want that, So all I can say is what I'm doing is not working, which I think I said for the third time, and it's time to try some different things. Now here's the deal about change, man. Change don't happen overnight. You can't go off half-cocked and just make this declaration that you've changed your life, or whatever. You got to get there. A couple months ago, one of my co-counselors I ran into and worked with for a day kind of just looked at me and said something that I thought was sort of odd, but it didn't sound stupid. I've had to think about it. Sometimes we just end up in places where we don't fit in, we don't click. You're not meant to be there. It's life's way or somebody's way of telling you you're meant to be somewhere else. Now, I don't know if I'm one of those people that believe that we're all meant for something or anything like that. I think I approach it from we're all in this together. If you can find those people you connect with, it's about people and stuff. We're all in this together and stuff. Maybe I'm wrong, And I think people are here for a reason, and we all affect each other and stuff like that. So maybe he had something. Maybe I've just ended up somewhere I'm just not supposed to be because I did not want to end up where I'm at, and I was just trying to hang in there and make the best of it that I can, and just can't do it. So change takes sacrifice, and with sacrifice, I know, sacrifice may not always work in your favor, but what I'm doing is not working, and I know for a fact that when the change comes, it's going to take money, and you better have it back there. Plus, I got to make up $300 somehow for this month. I'll be all right. Don't get me wrong, but that's just not part of the plan. So what I'm doing, this is going to be the first of a few of things of me selling some comics and stuff, and I came in and I just grabbed a few things, and there will be other things. We'll take them slow. And what I want to say is that I will take money order, or I have a PayPal account if you want to pay me in it. And there are videos in my shout out videos and people in this community that will tell you that I'm honest and they got their books and stuff like that. So just to let you know, I'm going to get started here. Alright. Here we go. First thing we got on sale is, you know what, before I get started, what I wanted to put in there is that I've always said in quite a few videos how comics have done me good and how I've always thought great about this community and stuff like that. Well, I'm going to the well one more time. So buy these comics so I know they go to a good home, people that appreciate them. Alright. First thing we have here is a hardback Annihilation Conquest Book 2. Things in phenomenal shape, kind of like new. It was originally selling for 40 bucks. I'm willing to sell it for 25. Alright. If you decide to buy this stuff, we'll discuss shipping and stuff later. Send me a personal message. Alright, second thing we got up here, the complete Captain America Heroes Reborn miniseries where Steve Rogers came back. Alright. Ed Brubaker, Brian Hitch. Okay. Also, and there's the other one. Also got the Aftermath of Captain America Reborn. And I've got Captain America 601 to go with that. A very special issue. Alright, we got this. I have no idea where this came from. It's beat up a little bit on the spine and such. But it's Wolverine inside the world of the living weapon. And, you know, it goes through his comic book history more or less, pulling all kinds of stats and history and characters and, you know, about Wolverine. I'm going to let this thing originally sold for $25. It's beat up and a little bit scratched up. I'll go 10 on it. For $5, $5 whole dollars, you'll get book book 1 of OMAC by John Byrne, book 2, and book 3 of OMAC. There's a 4-issue miniseries. You get 3 for $5. Okay. You get the complete run, all 28 issues of Brian Michael Bendis' Alias from 2001 with Max. I'll probably go 25 on those. That's less than $1 a piece. That's a steal. And then I've got like the first 13 issues of Spawn, I believe, here. And then I got 19 to 34. And I think if I find a random issue here and there, I'm willing to sell those for 40 bucks. Okay, Robin 3000, 2-issue prestige format. I'm willing to go 10 bucks on that. Here we go, guys. All 4 issues of Batman the Cult Like New by Jim Starlin and Bertie Wrightston. I'm going to go 25 on these. Spider Island. I got it parts 1. Whoops, how'd that get in there? I got 1 through 6 in the epilogue of Spider Island. Okay. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books. Originally, let's see, 7 books times 28. I'll go. I think I'll go 20 on these, like new. All right, and the coup de grace for this video. This is probably Amazing Spider-Man 149. It's got some dings on it, some spine wear and stuff like that. I think I'd make this a very good copy. I'm going to go 35 on that. Alright. Personal message me if you're interested. Haggle with me a little bit if you want. Okay? And we'll just talk shipping. I'll try to send everything, 2 comics to 1 bag and board. Okay? And like I said, I'll probably be putting some videos up on a couple days and stuff like that. I'll try not to turn this into a Buy My Comics channel, but it's time, and you know, I got all this to sort through. So thanks a lot, guys.